Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing well today. Thank you very much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. Shout out to all the new subscribers. Shout out to anybody new. Gratitude to you. And big up all the current subscribers as well. Never forget you guys. Peace to you. So let's talk about BRIEDIS, right?
I said this before the last fight, and I told everyone, you know, he is a great fighter, but I told everyone that I was the next generation of greatness coming through.
Animal. What an animal. I mean, you have to only watch an interview of his for more than 20 seconds to listen to how dedicated this guy is.
I'm only getting better is because we're training harder and we're learning in our camps, you know, like we've had this international experience now, and it's all just helping us progress to the next level, and we're constantly leveling up. So, you know, I feel like a whole different version of myself compared to, you know, who I was when I first fought him. So, you know, I feel like I honestly feel like I was a young boy back then, and now I'm molded into a man and into my sort of prime now. So,
and how driven and how one-track minded he is to being great.
My training and stuff, we've been building. You know, I'm getting bigger and stronger, and you know, I feel like I'm going to naturally progress into a heavyweight. You know, like I feel like I'll be able to do that pretty comfortably.
And I will, as this video goes on, I will leave a bunch of clips that I've heard in the recent interviews. Shout out to the content creators that made those. I think it was the Punch. I forget that channel's name. Sorry, man. Punch Boxing, something like that. And Based the Kid from London, and they did some great interviews. And I watched that, and I'm going to use their clips. So, you know, just want to show my gratitude to that. But I'll be leaving a lot of clips as I talk, just to let you know, if you're not aware of how mentally insanely elite BRIEDIS is.
I'm fighting on big stages now. We're very professional now. You know, we're not letting ourselves get heavy and unfit between fights. You know, we stay in the gym, we stay active. We have smart breaks, and we earn our breaks, and we earn our rest. You know what I mean? That everything that we live through and go through, it's all earned.
Then hopefully this will give you an idea. But obviously he's got a massive fight with BRIEDIS coming up, the rematch. That's in 2 weeks, just over 2 weeks, on the 17th, on the Fury Usyk undercard. I'm going to be doing quite an elaborate film study on that. I'm working on that next week. I'm working on a B-roll documentary right now.
Because I'm in boxing since I remember myself.
A masterclass from Dimitri Bivol, one of the pound-for-pound best in the world.
And all my coaches said me before. You can be the best fighter in the world.
That's been long coming, but I'm working on that, and I'm working on this BRIEDIS. Depending on how that goes, I might convert that into a fight breakdown. I will 100% do one or the other, but maybe I'll mix it into both. Sometimes the fight breakdown's easier because I can talk about it. The film study is more of a voiceover with some pictures and stuff like that. But the second fight is going to be, that's a really good fight. The first fight was an epic fight. I mean, he took the title from BRIEDIS. And it was just a tremendous performance under, you know, severe adversity, breaking his jaw twice in 2 different places early on.
Oh, big shot, major shot from BRIEDIS, and OPETAIA, he was rocked. Oh, here comes.
You know, he was just a phenomenal performance. There is one thing that I picked up on. Well, a couple of things I'll bring them all up in the fight breakdown. And, you know, again, these are just my thoughts. You know, you're welcome to your own. I always love to hear from fighters and coaches if you are tuned in, or experienced, you know, content creators. Let's chime in and let's chop it up, you know. But something BRIEDIS was doing that BRIEDIS picked up on, because he's very smart, BRIEDIS, and this is the one thing, as you get, obviously he hasn't actually fought since the last time he fought with BRIEDIS. OPETAIA's had 2 fights, well, if you can call the second one a fight. I mean, he ended it in about, what, 2 minutes or whatever, but...
Bully too far. Back on. Oh, big shot! Single shot. Left hand. Zorro is out.
He's OPETAIA is just beast mode since that win against BRIEDIS, which is why I think he's gonna beat BRIEDIS again. He might get a late stoppage, but that's more on that. But one thing he was doing, if you watch the way OPETAIA fights, right, he's got a very Eastern European style. They love that bounce. That's called a pendulum step, right? It's where they're bouncing in and out, and they're trying to time you.
Sims also said that he'd give Jordan one more round. He has to produce something here, and he goes again. Referee Howard across the left.
Whilst being defensively responsible, which is a big part of that Bevo documentary that I'll be talking about. But when OPETAIA bounces like this, sometimes if he's in punching range, he'll just bounce up.
And he wore it well, and he finished the round strongly.
And when you bounce up, there's a few milliseconds, I'll pull up a clip, where BRIEDIS spots, right? If you're bouncing up, right, your feet are going to leave you, and BRIEDIS mounts his attack, and when OPETAIA's feet land, he can't really do anything until his feet are set. So BRIEDIS times it.
And he wore it well, and he finished the round strongly.
Okay, that's called that bounce, that involuntary sort of weird bounce that is in between the pendulum step, can be called a rhythm step, right? Where it's like you're just kind of doing this and you are out of commission for a millisecond or two. And BRIEDIS definitely spotted that, and he was like, every time OPETAIA would bounce up without punching or coming down where he couldn't really punch, BRIEDIS was on him. I pulled it up in a film study that I made, I want to say 6 months to 8 months ago, something like that. I talked about it quite heavily in there, and I showed you every time BRIEDIS was able to be successful with that right hand, especially, he would wait like that, and then OPETAIA would bounce, he wouldn't punch, and BRIEDIS would be on him. And I'll show I'll show another clip of the same clip, but it's a good example where he was timing that. So something to look out for both camps, because I don't think BRIEDIS really realized that until the mid rounds, where he was able to time OPETAIA and, you know, make that adjustment, and that'll be a big part of the fight. Another part of the fight I want to look more into is OPETAIA's inside game. I think there were moments there where he just, like, because the Eastern European fighting Soviet style, OPETAIA has a more powerful offensive version of it, but it is not conducive to inside fighting. If you look at fighters like Usyk, not saying he can't fight on the inside, but they're far better on the outside, bouncing there, mounting their attacks, going long, coming into that mid-range, you know, bouncing back out, B-roll as well. They don't really fight on the inside, so OPETAIA, and they won't have, by the looks of it, have a ton of experience there, because they don't need to. They're always so superior using that mid to long range. So OPETAIA, when he gets on the inside, he tends to not be very creative and not really do that much. And I think BRIEDIS might have some opportunities there, but, you know, this was 2 years ago, and somebody like OPETAIA, he's just in the gym, wants to get better. Same with Tim Tszyu. Like I said before, I don't know what they're feeding the Aussies down there. We'll take some of that in England. Oh my gosh, can you imagine if one of these, I think Ben Whittaker, to be honest, I'm going to make a video about him very soon called The Eccentric Artist. And I'm going to talk about how he expresses himself purely as an artist. A lot of people don't like him because of his, you know, quote unquote disrespectful style, but at the end of the day, I'm like indifferent with it. I don't really love it, but I don't hate it at all. I love the fact he's expressing himself. You know, it's not a style that I would encourage a fighter to do, to kind of mock your opponent at all. But he is also being himself, and it's also, if you're being disrespectful,
Good lad. Keep it on. Keep it on. Keep it on.
to your opponent, well, guess what? Your opponent's got the what better chance to be disrespectful back by punching him in the face. So I don't have an issue with it, really. I think he's a magical, artistic boxer. and I'm going to make a separate video on him because he's got a fight coming up in June, and I want to touch on that. But I'll do a separate video on that. But yeah, what was I talking about? Jai OPETAIA, artistry, yeah, the inside fighting, but self-belief, and you know, just the confidence of where this guy's at, and he's just full steam ahead. I absolutely love it. Oh yeah, British fighters. Yeah, I would love that. I'm not saying Ben Whittaker has that, but he's dedicated in the gym, big time. Every time I follow him on Instagram, he's always posting pictures of him working out. I mean, he's shredded beyond belief. So the posting can be a little misleading if someone's just posting 10 seconds of this, but it shows he's ripped to shreds and he's dedicated and he's going places for sure. But you know, I wish we had more of that mentality that, you know, OPETAIA, even Liam Paro, to be honest. You know, I've got a big film study coming up about him and Matthias as well, definitely coming up. So shout out to all the subscribers that you know, waiting for those. I know a couple of people have commented, you know, it means a lot because I'm really going to put my heart and soul into those videos. So lots coming. But that's it from me. What time is it? 8 minutes. A little short little video today. Hope you enjoyed it. But I'm going to the gym now. I'll have the Canelo Munguia fight breakdown tomorrow. It's going to be a, you know, mediocre to not long epic one. Sometimes I'll do 20-30 minutes. It takes all day to edit, which I'm happy to do, but I'm a bit pressed for time tomorrow. So, but I will get it done. I'll watch some footage tonight, and I'll get on my A game for that Canelo fight tomorrow. With the fight Saturday, but the breakdown. But anyway, let me know your thoughts. I'm out of here. Peace.
Because I'm in boxing since I remember myself.
A masterclass from Dimitri Bivol, one of the pound-for-pound best in the world.
And all my coaches said me before. You can be the best fighter in the world. Because I'm in boxing since I remember myself, and all my coaches said me before, you can be the best fighter in the world.